So, who likes to go shopping? I like to go to those stores, with all the great deals. I call it treasure hunting because whenever I go to buy one thing that I'm looking for, it's hard to find. But whenever I am treasure hunting, I find all kinds of things. One of my favorite places is Sam's Club. And so I get my groceries there, and I usually find all kinds of great extra special things there. But one day, many years ago, I happened to go past the jewelry counter, just looking. And as I looked at the jewelry counter, I saw this diamond ring that I loved. I hadn't been looking for a ring. I hadn't even thought about wanting a ring, but I found this diamond ring that I just loved. And guess what? My 25th anniversary was coming up. And so that was a reason to get a new diamond ring, right? So I looked at that ring and I thought, oh, I'm going to bring my husband back to look at this ring. Well, it was late in the day and we hadn't paid attention to when the hours, when Sam's closed. And so it just happened as we drove 30 minutes to the Sam's Club at that time that it was about to close. And they were just pulling the gates down at the front door. I don't think I'd ever been there when they did that. They were pulling the gates down, and I was like, oh, I've gotten my husband here to look at this diamond ring, and they are closing. I may never get here again with him so he could see it. So I wanted to show him this ring, and I was so excited. I was so excited, and I wanted the ring so bad that I kind of went past my usual common sense kind of things or my bashfulness of asking if I could come in even they're closing. Okay, so here's what happens. So I go up to the guard and I tell him my story that I saw this ring and that, it was okay. I didn't have to buy it today, but I had my husband with me and I just wanted to see the ring. So first he told me no, and I persisted. I wanted my husband to see this ring. So finally he tells me yes. We run in, he races the gate, we run in, we go to the jewelry counter, we're looking at the ring, I show it to my husband, I tell him how much I love it, and then we leave. And afterwards, I could hardly believe I had done that. That was just about pushy. All right. I like to not consider myself a pushy person, but when I get overly excited and I want something so very much, that's the personality style we're talking about today. They're very talkative and chatty, and most of the time they're really optimistic. And their top thing is they're persuasive because when they want to persuade you of something, they believe in it. They might believe it's the best thing for you or the best thing for them, as that diamond ring was for me. But sometimes they're overly optimistic and they might not be weighing all the facts or thinking all the things about all the things they should be thinking because they are spontaneous. So sometimes that can be a little bit of trouble, right? Being spontaneous, making spontaneous thoughts. Well, just to tell you, I did get that ring. It was my 25th anniversary being married, and I did get it, and I'm still wearing it right there on that finger. Well, the reason I'm telling you this today is that in this personality, sometimes that persuasiveness and that chattiness and that excitement can get on the nerves of a person if they don't see all the best things in life, if they don't see the value of what you're trying to tell them, if they're a person who doesn't like to hear a lot of talking, talk to the hand, like I'm doing something else, don't talk to me. So if if you're married to an opposite person, they might crush this person and crush their spirit. But if you're married to a person who's a great listener, like my husband, it's awesome. Well, what I want to share with you today is that we all have different personality styles. And we can lift each other or we could crush each other. But the thing is, when we get married, we present our best self before we get married, when we're dating. And then once we're married, we stopped adapting. We start just being our natural self. And sometimes that is encouraging and loving for one another. And at other times, it really, it causes, there's things that cause division and frustration. And if you let those things go for very long, eventually they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's really important to evaluate your relationship. What works? What doesn't work? Take time to talk about it. That's what I do. I like to talk about it. And then decide if there's something and you really need help in it, make sure you look and you find help because marriage matters, relationships matters, families matter, our children matter, and that's even a bigger reason. I'm Connie, and thanks for listening to my blog today. I now call this blog The Extraordinary Marriage.